The Nintendo Switch is such a great little console handheld hybrid with so many great games on it. But as someone on the internet, I am one that cannot be satisfied with what we have now or in the near future. So of course, there are many more games I want on the Nintendo Switch because it's new and the handheld aspect really does add a lot to all the games on the console. With that being said, let's talk about the top 10 games I want to see ported to the Switch. Before we start, let me set some ground rules. First, I'm just talking ports here because it would be a lot easier for developers and it would make it more likely to become to the Switch. Second, one game per franchise because otherwise this list would be dominated by a few of my favorites. Third, no compilations because that would be too easy. And finally, nothing from the NES or SNES era because of Nintendo Switch Online, and I want to own these games. With all that being said, let's begin. Number 10, Megaman Battle Network Collection. Now, I know what I said before, that there wouldn't be any compilations on the list, but this just makes too much sense to me. We already have the Legacy Collection for the Classic and the X series, plus a collection for the 0/ZX series games are on the way. This is really the only Mega Man series left with more than 2 games that we don't have in a collection like this, and as a Mega Man fan, I think it's something we really need. There really isn't anything that plays like these games, and is something that needs another run as we're never getting another game in this style. So come on Capcom, bring these games to the Switch, and while you're at it, why don't you put all the games on one cartridge? Number 9, Star Wars Battlefront 2. Now, when I'm talking Battlefront 2, I'm not talking about the new one, I'm talking about the Xbox and PS2 version. We all know that everyone hates the new Battlefront games because EA likes to stuff their games with full of pay-to-win mechanics that make the game just not fun unless you have too much time and or money to spend. But EA Sins don't make the old Battlefront games any less awesome. We are never getting real Battlefront 3 that we were promised back in the day. So why not bring this classic Star Wars game over to the Switch? Preferably with online support. While EA has been known to do the opposite of what people want, there is some hope that we could get a port of this game, as since Jedi Outcast got a port to the system earlier this year, which is from similar hardware and seems to be a beloved Star Wars game that was pretty much forgotten about. So, may the Force be with this one. Let's hope we can get a port. Number 8, Super Mario 3D World. In Nintendo's quest to make the Wii U irrelevant, this is one of the last good games that Nintendo needs to put on the Switch to make it a graveyard of games that nobody ever played. Plus, it would bring 3D Chorus Clear Mario to the Switch, which would give every fan what they want. Not only is it the only style that we don't have right now, but it's just a great game in general. I know that this game gets some heat on the internet now, but that's just because people were overhyped when the game came out, calling it the best Mario ever at the time, making people feel like they had to knock it down a peg or two in retrospect. Despite that, the game is still a solid experience and deserves to be put on the Switch. If New Super Mario Bros. U can make it, this game should be able to as well. Number 7, Sonic Adventure. I know a lot of people are not big on this game anymore because a lot of the aspects did not age well. And out of all the games on this list, I think this one would benefit the most from a remake, particularly. Plus, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that this game could get a remake because of some of the rumors that we've heard from on the internet. However, no matter what anyone has to say about this game, I still love it and really want it on the Switch. Even though the controls and voice acting are a bit rough around the edges, the core game is still rock solid to me. And I think some of the stuff people complain about being bad today falls into the so bad it's good territory, at least besides the big catfishing stages. I mean, just listen to this.
Listen, this birdie seems to be in trouble, so you need to be his bodyguard for a while.
You must be kidding!
Come on, how could you hate that? Number 6, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD. I really have a hunch that this one might be the most likely out of all the ports on this list. I mean, come on, this is one of the most celebrated Zelda games to this day and has been stuck on Nintendo's 2 least successful home consoles, that being the GameCube and the Wii U. Not to mention, like I said before, Nintendo is out to destroy any reason for anybody to own a Wii U post-Switch launch. And this is one of the last good games that are on Wii U and not Switch yet. This game would sell like crazy on Switch because it's a beloved Zelda game that not a lot of people have played because of the systems that it's been on. And thanks to the art style, it still holds up very well compared to a lot of the games coming out today. Also, if Nintendo plays their cards right with ports, remakes, and new games, there could be a new Zelda game on Switch every single year, which is something that they said they would like to do in the past, because Nintendo's a company after all, and from what I hear, companies love big piles of money. Number 5. Paper Mario and the Thousand-Year Door. If you're watching this video, you've probably heard about the recent outcry by YouTuber Arlo to get this game remade on the Switch. With over 46,000 people signing this petition to get the game remade, it's obvious that demand is high. And with the recent bankruptcy of the Mario and Luigi RPG's team, Alpha Dream, and Paper Mario not being what fans have wanted it for about a decade now, it is clear that we need the series to go back to its roots, going back to a real turn-based RPG system, as this or a completely new game are the only hope to save the series from what it has been. This is something that we all want, and again, the graphical style would make this game easy to port because the paper aesthetic still looks good to this day. Just update some of the polygons in there and you'll be fine. Number 4, Advance Wars. Advance Wars. The old forgotten classic turn-based strategy game that influenced Nintendo to bring Fire Emblem over to the West. We haven't gotten a game from this series since 2008 with Days of Ruin. And with how well some of Intelligent Systems' other RPs are doing, like Fire Emblem, it doesn't look like we're going to be getting a new one anytime soon. So, why not just port over the series to the Switch? If I had to pick just one, I would say the first one, because it's where we were introduced to so many of the staple characters from the franchise. Even though it isn't necessarily the best in the series, it still has a lot to offer. It has been far too long since we've seen anything from this franchise. And I know you know it exists, Nintendo, because I see it in Super Smash Bros. So why not just give us some of the old games in the series, if you're not going to give us a new one? Even today, with the pixel art style of the units, the graphics hold up just fine. So just give it to us, Nintendo, come on. Number 3, Persona 4 Golden. You might be thinking to yourself, wait, isn't Persona only on PlayStation? Well, no, as we've seen a few spin-offs from the series on Nintendo handhelds such as Persona Q and the upcoming Persona 5 Scramble. But these spin-offs are simply not cutting it for such a great franchise. It would make much more sense to put Persona 5 on the Switch with Joker and Smash, and I do like Persona 3 better than Persona 4. But Persona 5 would take some serious work to get the base game on the Switch, let alone the upcoming Persona 5 Royale, which adds a lot of graphical fidelity, probably not being able to work on the Switch at all. As for Persona 3, there are some issues with the straight up port, depending on which version you pick, having their own setbacks. For the PS2 version, you cannot control your party members directly. With the PSP version, you can, but with the in-game cutscenes, 3D models being replaced with a visual novel-esque art style. With Persona 4 Golden, you get the latest and greatest version of Persona 4, and nothing coming out in the near future to make it irrelevant on launch. Plus, you know this is still one of the best JRPGs ever made, despite me preferring 3 and 5 over it, it's still a fantastic game. Number 2, Castlevania Symphony of the Night. This game needs little introduction, being the second half of the term Metroidvania, a subgenre which focuses on exploration and platforming. The design of the castle is so good, with fun secrets being found every corner you look at. They even made the game so you could play the whole thing upside down. It's quite the legacy, and with many other classic games in the series on the Switch, I don't see why we wouldn't be able to get a re-release of the best game in the series in my eyes. But Konami, if you decide to bring this one over on the Switch, please keep the bad voice acting in this time, as it was omitted from the PS4 version.
What is a man? A miserable little pile of secrets. But enough talk. How about you?
It's just too good not to have. Number 1, Fallout 3. Fallout 3 is my favorite Bethesda game by far. Sure, Fallout New Vegas is great, it might deserve to be on this list more than 3. Despite that, I just love the world and atmosphere of this game way too much to not put it on the list. There's so much to do, and the feeling I get while exploring this game is something unlike any other open world game that I've ever played. Look, I know this could be a lot of nostalgia talking, with this being one of the first M-rated games I've ever played back when I was 13 or 14, but I think this game is still an extremely fun time with bugs and all. Not to mention, with Skyrim already on the Switch, it wouldn't be that hard to port this game over, as they use a similar engine. So Bethesda, please bring us a port of my #1 most wanted Switch game, Fallout 3. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching the top 10 games that I want ported to Nintendo Switch. Definitely let me know down below what some games you want ported to the Switch, and we'll kind of get a little discussion going. If you like the video, like and share it so we can reach more people in this whole YouTube world. And if you want to see future content similar to this, then please, I encourage you to subscribe so you can keep up to date with what we have going on in the future. Anyways guys, I hope you have a good day, and I'll see you in the next video.